Anyone has any questions before we start? So let me say a good word about about the parsha, about the karbonos, to put things in perspective. So, this week the Torah talks about karbonos. The translation of karban means getting close. Getting close. So a person bought a karban, many times he bought a karban, the idea of a karban was to get close. So it's very interesting. For years, I used to always think that the Mishkan is supposed to bring a kapara for us, the karbanos. So I used to think we really mess up a lot, don't we?
A lot of kabbanos.
What do you say?
It's a lot of kabbanos.
Yeah, but every day we bring a karban because, the too much shachar takes care of the night. But I saw an incredible word from one of the Balatoises. He says, "I'm really dig a word to this. This is what I want to bring out about meditation." He says, when you bring you bring a karban for your sin, you know what it tells you? I am clean now. I think I mentioned this word once before. I'm clean now. If I mentioned this once before, I once had a guy, Shiva man, a Korean man, he had a dent in the car. He went out of his way to fix the dent. I asked him, what is this? He said, I'm not going to fix this dent. I'll have a lot of dents. I won't be careful. If you have a dirty shirt, it's anyways dirty. I hear this sometimes from people that says, I'm going to hell anyways. Kasha badati. I'm going to hell anyway. But if you tell yourself you do tshuva, and now you're totally clean, now you can be so much careful not to mess up. So part of every day when I meditate, this part of my meditation is also I just sit and ask the Rebbeinu Shalom to forgive me. Forgive me for the, we all try to make a cheshbon and nefesh and just say, I messed up with this. Then it's like a shower. You feel clean. I tell this to young people who suffer from ups and downs. So I always tell them, you ever noticed that you worked hard, you're all verschwitzt, and you take a shower, you think the world is clean? The world is just dirty before you shower, after you shower. But since you showered, you think the world is clean now. Ever noticed that? And when a person is down on himself, it's really not. It's just the way you project yourself. But if you meditate and you do tshuva, say, Rebbeinu Shalom, I am so sorry I messed up again, and please forgive me. And when you do tshuva, it is like you are clean now. The next day you feel so much better about yourself. It doesn't eat away at you. Sometimes you see people that things eat away at them because they're conflicted, because we are humans. We are conflicted. That when a person does the tshuva in his meditation of time, so then it's like the Balatoises says that you are clean now, and I'm trying not to get dirty by itself since you're clean. So I want to try to push you guys a little bit more in meditation. One of the things that I do is now Reb Nachman wanted that you should speak out. It's great to think about the Rebbeinu Shalom, which is I do it's how I begin my meditation. My meditation is, sometimes I do the breathing, but sometimes I just meditate about the greatness of Hashem. That's the first thing. And, and then I do all other things. You got to fill up an hour. Not easy to fill up an hour. But one of the things is that you should try to think. I want to tell you a moedige word. This is mind-boggling, the Chofetz Chaim's word. It says the Nesiim or the Nasi, the princes from each Shevet, they decided we're going to watch what's missing from the nation of the Mishkan, and whatever's missing not come, we're gonna bring. So the Chazal say, Rashi says, the word on the Nesiim is missing a Yud. Why is it missing a Yud? Why are you waiting? You should have bought whatever you could bring, and if something missing, you bring afterwards. since they did not bring, you know, understand what happened? They said, let everyone bring, but missing, we're going to fill it. That was not the right thing to do. But so they quickly went, and the first days of Nisan, the 12 days, we read in Pashas Nusa and Chanukah, we read in Yom Notice, we repeated 12 times each one. Says the Chofetz Chaim, listen to this profound thing, that when they missed, they didn't do the right thing, a Yud was missing. When you fixed it, look how big each Parsha became. So, you know, when you fix the things that are wrong, you gain enormous amount. Because the Nesim, a Yud was missing. But now, this is the famous question everyone has, why is the Parshas Nesim repeated 12 times? Not only 12 times, at the end, after 12 times, the Torah goes out and it sums everything up. It's because when you fix it, look how much the Torah becomes bigger. That's the same thing with Purim. How did we get Purim? We really messed up. We either bow down to Nebuchadnezzar, or in the Hannibal Suda, or the Medrash they unfortunately between Bayesish and Bayesheni, they intermarried. So all the another mandam Medrash the Chet of Yosef. We really messed up, and we deserve Haman to come. When we really did tshuva, we got such an incredible yontif. I always tell people, Purim is about the only yontif that people look forward. Pesach, I hear really kvetching. I had today, this afternoon, someone called me with a difficult amount to do with the host of story, you know. No one says, Machaya, Pesach is coming, I just can't wait for it. Yeah, even people go on programs, you know, those who kvetch plenty. You know, it's not like, you know, the Machaya. Purim is an enjoyous yontif. We got this because we fixed what we messed up. If you fix what you messed up, you gain so much more. That's why the Nesim is mentioned 12 times. So, you know, we all of us, let's be honest, mess up. And be part of the meditation, you could tell yourself, ask the Rebbeinu Shalom, please forgive me. Then all of a sudden, you feel also a lot better about yourself. Because every Jewish soul knows when they did something wrong, it really deeply bothers you. No one walks around saying, you know, it's okay. You know, there's a part of you which is bad. But if you say to the Rebbeinu Shalom, and you have to believe, you said, I'm sorry, the Rebbeinu Shalom forgives you. And it's like it cleans a person's soul. Anyways, before we start, anyone has any questions about meditation? Did you all do it this week?
I didn't do it on Sunday, and I saw how it messed up my entire day. Killed my entire routine. Really become dependent on it.
You felt not calm?
My davening was not good. My day was not good.
To me, it amazes me. I'm doing it already 50 years, and I still sometimes have it's hard not to do it. It amazes me. I see how powerful it is. That's why I know how important it is, because good things, you don't want to. As I always tell people, no one got addicted to whole wheat bread. He's a health person. I just can't go, where's my whole wheat bread? Where's my vitamins? I'm addicted to. If it's dangerous to yourself, that's you get addicted. If you're addicted to something, you know, then it's not good. No one got addicted to health food, to drugs and to alcohol. And once it's an addiction, I don't know why, but once an addiction, that shows that it's unhealthy. Meditation is not addiction. It's how it fights you every time you want to do it. That shows to me we only resist really good things that ruin life. We have the Chassidish Song say, if you want to do something, a mitzvah, you're running to it. Maybe there's a Yitzhak there, you know. The Shem Shemaim. It's very tricky, the Shem Shemaim. How to say in English, the road to hell is paved with good deeds. How do you say
Good intentions.
Good intentions. It's like, you know, the truth is like when that's why davening with Kvan is difficult, because it's very challenging. Any questions anyone has? Did you do it, Kayan?
Not consistently. I did it this morning. and it was very nice. Really, really nice.
How long?
My Yetzer Hara said 4, but I pushed it at 5.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. In my car, before davening. It was great.
You notice the more you do it, the more calmer you be, the more you connect to people better. Do you find when you meditate you connect better to people? Can I be blunt? Is your shalom bayis better when you do it?
No, always.
So maybe you should have your wives hear this and they're going to push you to come. They kick you out of the house. But it's very true. If you meditate every day, I've told this to people, they find the shalom bayis is much better. Because you don't react so quickly. You're much calmer. So, so things go on. It's, you are focused. Okay. Most often can I ask you all, everyone married here? Yes?
Yes.
So, I always ask this question, and people meditate, get the answer right. When do you argue? When you disagree? A simple question. When do you argue with your wife? When you disagree?
When you're not calm, you're arguing, and when you're calm,
The
you
things that
disagree.
matter, you argue, and the things that don't, you disagree.
Is someone brave enough to tell me the last good argument they had? If you're not brave enough, just think about the last argument. You remember the day you argued? That you do remember. You probably don't remember what you argued about.
No, wasn't important enough.
Isn't it amazing? You remember when you argued, right? But you have no idea what you argued about. It's true? Do you know why? You only argue when you're hurt. That's the only way you argue. Otherwise, you disagree. If I could be blunt, the night she goes to the mikveh, you don't argue ever. Don't argue, man. You only argue when you're hurt. So when you meditate, you're much calmer. She gets agitated. She hurts you. Okay, what's this all about? Much, much easier. I always tell myself if I start arguing, that means I am hurt. Nothing to do with it. But you'll notice that 99% of your arguments, I'll tell you a nice story. I gave a Chassidish class once, and I usually don't like to bring up in Chassidus this, but came up, and I asked someone, can you be brave, tell me your last fight with your wife. This guy's married 23 years, he's married with a child with 2 children, and his mom. He's married to her. She says this amazing story. He says, I'll tell you, you see I'm right. Monday morning, I'm driving to my office. My wife calls me because we went out Sunday. She needs her sunglasses that she left in the car. I need my sunglasses, come back. I said, are you kidding me? I'm gonna come back, 20 minutes back and 40 minutes our office are lined up things to take care of. Are you kidding me? She hung up, and for 2 days, he says, you could cut the tension in the home. So he says to me, wasn't that right? Yeah, well, 100% right. I say, let's call him Moshe. I say, Moshe, may I ask you a question, Moshe? I said, Moshe, and let's replay. Your wife is agitated. She wants a sunglasses. You call her and say, my dear wife, you're the most important person in my life. I would turn around, you bring me sunglasses, but let me just explain to you what's going to happen. They turn around, it's 20 minutes, 40 minutes, and have a lot of things lined up in the office, and everything will be chaotic. If you want me to come home, I'm coming home. Becomes quiet. I says, why are you so quiet? My wife says, don't you dare come home. He says, what happened? A minute ago you told me she was right and you were right. So what happened? You were hurt and she was hurt. You're hurt, I'm 100% right. Nothing to talk about. If you're not hurt, you just disagree. Yeah, he has to come home, not to come home. So but meditation helps this enormously. You meditate, you're much calmer, to able to feel at the moment what's going on. When you know, meditate, you know, you get caught up, you know, you don't even realize you argued. I always say to myself, anger, depression, always slides under the door without an invitation. No one invited you to be depressed, no one invited you to be angry. Happiness, you gotta kimba say, you gotta tell yourself you're happy. All of a sudden, you wake up in a bad mood, you don't even realize you're in a bad mood. I once, Shul was speaking, and I said sometimes people walk around in a bad mood for 2 weeks and don't realize that someone screams out, Rabbi, how about 6 months? I walked around after he tells me 6 months I was depressed, I didn't realize how depressed I was. Negative comes uninvited. Positive things you have to work and invite yourself, so to say. So you ready? To meditate? So again, and with some of the faces of what we do here is the best thing for beginners is breathe a lot of deep breaths to calm yourself down. So, you know, the best thing that we are working to meditate is try to think how the Rebbeinu Shloim is all over. The best thing that I find is find a pain that you have in your life. Which will have things that's painful, but it could be your panasa, it could be your shalom bayis, it could be your children, who knows about. Just focus on that, all your pain, and tell yourself in your mind, Hashem is with you the entire place. That'll be your backache, or your shalom bayis ache, or the children's ache, or you don't even know what ache. You know, often we walk around with our overshigasim. You know, we got to put up with ourselves. You know, that's not so easy neither to put up with yourself. You know, so then we're born with. You know, the part of meditation I always tell myself is we accept ourselves, because we all have things that we're not so most comfortable with. That itself is a painful thing. So if you meditate, just tell yourself that everything that Rebbeinu Shalom is with me. And you know, if you need the breathing, start to breathe. You know, I find for beginners, breathing for a few minutes in and out calms them down. But you should try to focus and don't get nervous that your mind wanders. I always tell this, you know, it's like playing chess. If you never played chess, you have a hard time focusing. But once you play enough chess, you focus. Anyone chess players over here? No? The Russians like
Checkers.
Checkers, no.
Legendary checkers.
Can you?
No, because the truth is, I always find, you know, I used to play chess when I was young, and I found that it's not so much the good players as the people who focus when. It's just a focus, because it's hard for people to focus. It's very simple. Meditation demands a focus, but you could train, as we explained once before, you could train your mind. As after you do more, you more you get focused, you train your mind. Okay.
How many minutes are we doing? Just so I can be mentally
I
prepared.
don't want to tell you.
Yeah.
I don't want to tell you. Okay, let's start. like to say? You're not shy.
How long was that first of all?
12 minutes.
Wow. Second longest I've done it for. I had a hard time, honestly, I really had a hard time. I was all over the place in the beginning, and for the first time, I needed to like kind of verbalize myself a little bit and kind of say it out, and I felt like that helped me focus myself a little more. I was like whispering, but to myself, but I felt like that kept me a little more focused.
That's true. That's what Nachman said. You should speak it out to Hashem. That helps you focus. If you meditate, I try when I meditate in the morning. I always speak it out. Always.
Is that what a spodidus is? It's just speaking out.
Speaking to Hashem, thinking about Hashem, speaking to Hashem. There's different types of spodidus, but the most powerful one is talking to Hashem like you'd be a friend. If you can make such a riyah, it takes time because we are so very far removed. The hardest thing in Yiddishkeit is, believe it or not, it's not Pesach. The Chumash of Pesach. It's like people like to say it's OCD Pesach. But the hardest thing is to have a relationship with Hashem. Just to say, I am connected to Him. We are void of the presence of Hashem in life. That's the chet Egel calls that, the chet the magician calls that we are so removed. The unfortunate thing about Hashem, when we get into trouble, we say, tell him all of a sudden. So the more you do meditate, so the more you get closer to Hashem, the more you rely on Hashem, the more calmer your life is. This I'll show people who meditate don't suffer from high blood pressure. A much better heart. It's because your body is much, much calmer. You know you're not in control. Someone called me up, one of my children, all nervous, there's going to be a nuclear war. I says, you have to make his body this, I tell him. Moshe runs the world, Anyone has anything to share? Yes.
So if you're verbalizing it for 12 minutes or whatever it is, it's just that one line, Hashem is with me in my pain.
Or you tell him, talk to him about what bothers you. Hashem bothers me that this and this, and bothers me. I'm removed from you. I'm so far from you.
I find the dialogue easier than just the focusing on one thing.
So that's what you got to do now. Every day. You meditated this week.
I started the micro doses.
So
the 1 minute, 3 minutes.
So try. When do you meditate?
In the morning.
Yeah, but you could discipline yourself doing it in the morning, or depends on.
It's pretty consistent, but it's only like a minute or two.
So tomorrow, 5 minutes. You could do it in the car. I say over and over, before there was cell phones, I used to sometimes meditate in the car. People would pass by and look at me. What is this? No one does it anymore. I remember taking my children to the dentist. I used to, drop them off, go around the corner, and if someone passed by, so used to keep a book open. People think that. Now no one looks at you. I think you're talking on the phone. So, sit in your car, but a quiet place, and tell yourself you're not budging for 5 minutes. So even though your mind where it goes off, someone told me last week that he decided to meditate for 10 minutes. He's not going to budge. For the 8 minutes, he was waiting 10 minutes to go. Calm down the last 2 minutes, he said. And then he moved his clock to do it more. Sometimes we're so agitated, it takes time just to calm down. But the more you do it, the truth is, like you said, it's best, like both of you said, if you could speak out. And anything, you could speak to Hashem from a headache to the panosa, the Shalom Bayis, the children, or yourself. Rebbeinu Shalom, I got to put up with myself. Not so easy to put up with myself. In Yiddish, there's a very good saying. everyone has a Meshugaz, and Meshugan has one too many. Probably heard that. We all have our quirks, you say now in America. I just say to the bunch, like, help me overcome it, help me accept myself. No, Yoel, anything?
It was a little hard tonight to meditate. I have been meditating. Some days I miss. I find it the most helpful. The biggest noticeable relief is like when you wake up and you're actually in a not a great mood, and or whatever, something's bothering you. Like then it's noticeable. Like I know I'm everyday calmer, but you go from night and day, and I think a lot of times it's just not, especially men, I think, we don't check in on ourselves with how we're feeling. And, just that is just checking in and saying, like, I'm in a bad mood right now. I'm in a really, really bad mood. I screamed at my kid. I feel like this. Just the process of, like, talking that out is so therapeutic, and it
brings like Shem into your life. Yeah. That's why, and most people have a hard time saying, most men have a hard time walking to the house and tell your wife and children, I'm in a lousy mood. But if you could say it, it blows this sail out of the wind, as they say. So I hope all of you commit to yourself. Look, if you come here, obviously you want to do it. But I'll tell you, the Yitzhak is not going to let you do it. I'm doing it for 50 years now. The Yitzhak does not. I try to keep a log. And this year I noticed that it's going easy, but I know I'm having, how when it goes easy, it doesn't go easy. Anything of disciplinarity to discipline yourself, the Yitzhak doesn't want you. Anything, it's that way. And mostly, what I also encourage when you meditate, tell yourself you're going to be happy. See, if you were not happy today, who suffered from it?
Us. Our family.
Hashem.
Yourself, and your family, and your wife, the children. Mostly yourself, because your wife agitated, you yourself are agitated. So why don't we smile all day long? It's my old age question since I'm a young boy. Really, we should dance. We're nervous that the gas is going up. Who's going to go hungry now? My wife got all nervous. The shiksa wants a raise. My wife is never handicapped when we need it. I says, don't worry, we're not going to go hungry. We are so blessed. It's mind-boggling how blessed we are. It's unbelievable how blessed we are. We don't smile. We kvetch like the people living in the village. Because happiness, you have to be kimbase. It's like meditation. You got to do it. So I give you all a challenge. Tomorrow, the next 24 hours, fake your smile. And tell me at the end of the day it wasn't worth it. You see, the most who gets the benefit is yourself. You're happy. So today, life, you accept it or not, we have an expiration date. We will expire one day. It's just, the problem is it's hidden someplace. Looking for the expiration date where it is, but I have no idea. We will expire one day, all of us. So now every day that you're doing happy, you're the one who's gaining from it. I always ask myself at the end of the day, if I wasn't happy today enough, I'm the only one who lost out. Sometimes, people around you also lose out if you're agitated. And another thing, if you're happy, the load of life is very easy to carry. You ever notice when you're depressed, that red light is also against you. It's so long. Why is he so long today? He's getting on my nerves. Same red light, same corner, the same amount of seconds, but when you're agitated, you think the light is against you. And the guy cut you off, you think, the end of the world, the guy cut you off on the freeway. So, we all gonna do it this week, yeah, every day?
It's a shame.
What's your name?
Yechiel Kessler. Yechiel Kessler.
Kessler. Related to Yitzchak Kessler?
Can I ask an unrelated question?
Yes.
I read a book years ago, and it's crazy. If anybody has like meditation questions, you should go before me because it's about to get crazy. I read a book about from like this non-Jewish pastor or something, and talking about Mashiach. And this was written in 2001. And he says that Russia is gonna take over Crimea, and he got this all from I think Cheskel or something. And then Russia's eventually gonna start a whole world war, or whatever it is. Because I read this a few years ago. I'm sorry guys, it's a crazy question, but like, it seems nuts. We've heard a lot about this guy Gumagag and with like a beer and like, I'm not asking if Mashiach's coming tomorrow, but like, what is
let me explain to you something. My father, Olav Shulam, was in slave labor camp. Father's a Holocaust survivor. And the whole time they've been giving each other chizik that the only one who's going to free them is Mashiach. My father was freed by the Russians. Father says he was sick on the floor, he didn't want to get up, he wanted to die. This is what he was waiting for. We were convinced Mashiach was going to take us out. So I always say to people, if Mashiach didn't come after World War II, then we had plenty of days. When I was a young boy, very young, and they said, Tushin Kuvches Mashiach coming. I had every sign. Mashiach is going to come, he's going to come. The world saw plenty of bloodshed, plenty of craziness. So we have another craziness. The guy woke up and, miscalculated what he thought. I don't put much into it. I every day hope Mashiach is going to come.
Right.
That's it. But the signs are here. There was many times when they were convinced, which in the Zohar says, Tach v'tat Mashiach. The Zohar says almost clearly Mashiach is going to come. Didn't come. It was the famous Khmelnytsky, in Ukraine, where he murdered the entire communities. So one Shem is going to send Mashiach when he wants to. But if you really try to picture yourself, since you guys meditate, Mashiach would walk in now. It wouldn't be that embarrassing. He's going to look at our face. With this, what did you do with your life? It would be very painful. I think we should start doing tshuva quickly if you really think Mashiach is coming. Because it is, And ask it, when part of meditation, don't be afraid to ask yourself, what am I doing with my life? That's very, very powerful. You ask yourself, where is God? If you feel so removed from Him. Asking yourself, Ayeku, where am I? What am I doing? It helps you focus then to realize, like he was saying, you have too many things in your life doing, or am I doing the right thing? Any other question? So I hope all it. Yes.
How do you suggest dealing with the concept of like yes or ego when it comes to admitting to yourself the problems that you bring to the table?
Well, just say, whenever there's a problem, I just share with you, whenever I have an argument with my wife, if I get into the field, I always ask myself, which part am I wrong here? It takes two to tango, it takes two to argue. And it works immediately, I calm down. Because as I mentioned before, you only argue when you're hurt. You married?
Yeah,
Do you remember the last time you argued with your wife?
of course.
But do you know what you argued about?
In essence, yeah.
Not exactly,
Yeah, not the details.
not a detail, but you remember the day you argued,
Correct.
an exact hour. Why is that? Why don't you remember the detail of what you argued? That should be more important at the time. The only reason you argued, because you were hurt. If you were not hurt, we could, the two of us could sit and disagree over something. The only reason people argue is because they're hurt. So you tell yourself, I am hurt. Could be it's not your wife's fault. Could be we woke up in the as we say, the wrong leg, you know. But just admit to yourself, I'm hurt. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Have a great. I'll see you next week.
Yes.
Okay.